Good morning. Today's job is a rather nice repointing job. It's an Indian sandstone patio. It's about 50 square meters, and we're going to be grinding out all these joints and then filling them back up with the Projoint Titan. It's like the two-part. It's got the epoxy that you mix in, and it should be quite a nice transformation. Quite a few black spots and stuff down here. Lots of weeds coming through. You can see the old jointing compounds failed. That's what we're trying to avoid with using the Projoint Titan, because it's a lot stronger than this stuff apparently. First time using it today. Got the grinders. A lot of this is just sort of crumbling away, but then over in this corner there is still quite a lot of it that's mostly intact. But this should be quite soft, so the grinders should just blast through this hopefully. Shouldn't have too many issues. Got some reflective stain in there where you can see the mortar, the moisture from the mortars coming through. Nexus Projoint have been kind enough to send out 7 tubs of the neutral Titan, which is incredibly generous. They messaged me on TikTok and asked if I'd like to try it out, and I said yes. I've got the Champion generator, so Jakey can use the extension lead and I'll just use this. We've got the paddle mixer, because it's obviously a two-part thing that you have to mix together. You've got to mix it for about 3 minutes. Got the squeegee to push it around as well. That should make life a little bit easier. Start by grinding the joints and then we'll clean it. Hopefully we'll get it all done today if things go to plan. Shit, how effective my glasses were for that. That's the outside, that's the inside.
They're dustier on the inside than
on the inside.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
I can't believe how quick we've just done that. We arrived here at 9 o'clock, literally arrived at 9 o'clock, and it's now 23 minutes past 10. So we've set up and had that whole thing grinded out in an hour and a half, which I think is really impressive. It was very soft, to be fair. Does anyone know, have these slabs been laid upside down? I'm sure the angle of some of these joints should be in the opposite direction. Can you see the bevel? I'm sure on some of these slabs, because the bevel on this one, the bevel goes under the slab on this one, but on this one the bevel comes towards the top of the slab. Does anyone know? Let me know in the comments. I thought we were only going to need about 4 tubs of jointing compound, but after seeing the true size of some of these joints, I'm really glad they sent over 7. Because I mean, look at that. If you imagine we're going to fill this joint flush to the top. We're in a good position now to start doing the pressure washing, so we're going to go around the edge with the turbo, rinse all the dust and the muck into one direction, and then we're going to use the, have I brought it? Yeah, the flat surface cleaner over there. God, the van's crammed today, isn't it?
Did you actually get the service?
So I've lost my black proportioner a long time ago, which was, I think that was 5:1 or 4:1. So I've just been sort of using whatever I've got. I used this one for the biocide yesterday, and we keep dropping the X-jet and it's damaging the proportioners, and so they're useless now. I'm defaulting now to using the red one because that's the closest one I've got to the dilution that I need. So this is 1:9 roughly for my machine when we turn the revs down. But yeah, be careful with these because you can lose them and then you have to buy a whole new set for like 25 quid. Or if you drop that and it damages, then it doesn't work anymore. It just comes through as if there was no proportioner in there in the first place. So Jakey's going to go around at 1:9 with the hypo. This bit's not looking too bad, to be fair. It's okay. There are some fossils down here which are quite interesting. You won't get those up with hypo. I think they're quite pretty, to be honest. So Jakey's going to cover everything in 1:9. These bits are going to need probably almost neat. So I'll go around these bits just with the pump sprayer afterwards, I think. Start there and then just spin around, but when you get to the grass, I'd probably stand here and do the grass like that. Perfect. Perfect, mate. That's beautiful. That is, right along them edges. That's the way to do it. Yeah, I think I'm going to go around it now with the pump sprayer and just get the worst bits. So this is a 50-50 mix. So I've got 2.5 litres of water, 2.5 litres of hypo, and I'm just spraying this through. I got this. I think it's 3D printed, but I got this from Pure Seal, and it goes nicely onto the end of this little lance. And then I've just put a pressure washer nozzle in there as well, just to give me a nicer spray pattern. I actually use this for sealing some block paving recently because my other pump sprayer, my proper pump sprayer, wasn't working very well because I left sealer in it over the winter. This works quite well with this nozzle. It's literally been down about 20 seconds and it's already working really well. This one was covered in black spots but looking much better. Jakey's just going around with our new soft brush, agitating that hypo. I prefer these brushes, these softer ones. Train! I prefer these softer ones for agitating the hypo because they get it to foam up really nicely in comparison to like a stiff brush. This is like a flocked, just like a general soft broom. It's 20 to 12. It seems silly to spend time rinsing this off. We've got a little bit of rain incoming in the next half an hour, and we're just going to let it sit and do its thing while we go and grab some lunch. So we're just in the process of packing up, grab some lunch. By the time we get back, the hypo would have fully done its thing. Chemical reaction will be done. We need to wet the patio anyway before we can put the Titan compound down, and so we'll just use that as an opportunity to rinse at the same time. You can see the hypo is really doing its thing. It's all of those spots are gone now. This area in particular was really bad. See you in a minute. Okay, so we've got the NEXUS Projoint Titan. Comes in a 2-part mix. We've got the sand, and then we've got the epoxy. Jakey's pre-wetting the surface first. Do this for about 3 minutes.
Set a timer for 3 minutes. I don't want to do it too fast and flick it everywhere. Weird how it doesn't need water. Oh my god! Nope. Oh my god! So it says to pour half the tub on at a time. It's about half, I think. Oh, it moves about nicely. Very easy to push around with a squeegee. Easier than I expected, actually. That's just kind of pouring out in the corner. I don't know what to do about the edges. Might have to top them up afterwards. I think it's going into the joints nicely though. It's filling them up very quickly. With the jointing compound, you sort of have to brush it over and over again just to make sure the joint's full, but this seems quite heavy and it's just sort of flowing in nicely. And then we're supposed to leave this for 15 minutes and then just brush the excess off. Simple as that. Mix the rest of the tub. Just go quite slowly with that paddle because it can throw it around everywhere. Oh, that drill is so hot. So apparently with this stuff you don't even have to compact it because it's like self-leveling, self-compacting, so we don't even need to go around with a pointing tool afterwards, which saves a lot of time. So now Jakey is using a wet brush to sweep the excess off the surface. Try doing it backwards instead. So in some areas I feel like I'm almost scraping it back out the joints, which obviously isn't what I want it to do. I want it to be perfectly flush along the top, but I think it's because I've not left it long enough to dry. Whereas other areas like over here where the slabs have sort of dried, it's much easier to get rid of the excess without scraping everything out from between the joints, and the joints look a lot neater. So I think I just need to give it a few more minutes to dry. over on this side, I started brushing it before I think it was ready, and so I've essentially brushed some of the joints out. So some of these are like really low. So now that it's sort of brushed off and dry, I mean, it's looking fine. It's just we're going to top the joints up again with some more stuff, just to make everything look a bit more consistent.
On this week's project, we're repointing this tired looking Indian sandstone patio. And for me, it's always helpful to know the exact size of the area before attempting to quote a job like this. You've got the grinding, which can take a huge amount of effort, the cleaning, the chemical treatment, and then finally applying the jointing grout. Guesstimating work like this, which has so many different stages and processes, can end up leaving you either severely out of pocket on the job, or your customer paying way over the odds for materials that you never ended up using. Instead, I've been using the new Moser 2 to help quote all of my pressure washing work, driveways, patios, car parks. You can use it to quickly and accurately map out any shape, volume, gradient, or surface area, which is what I use it for. They've essentially taken all of the things that made the Moser 1 great and then improved on it in virtually every way. Longer battery life, improved accuracy thanks to the higher performing sensors, USB-C and IP67 water resistance. And of course you get the 2-year warranty and the 30-day money-back guarantee. Head to the website using my link and use code X8SMELTS for £20 off your order.
Disaster. Just lifted the hose reel off this slab and moved it. Oh dear. Didn't even know that one was loose. I reckon I can brush that back in. We've got one of them brushes. Can't believe I've just done that.
Big one or a little one?
Just a little one will do. Looking good though, isn't it? Just had one last sort of light brush over everything. It's much easier when everything's dry to brush the excess off. But yeah, I've got to account for a lot of brushing throughout the whole process. Thank you, mate. That is not ideal. I mean, obviously this stuff is not designed to hold the slabs in place, and the customer knew that there's a couple of loose slabs here and there, and he wasn't too worried. But this would probably do a better job than the traditional jointing compound at holding the slabs in place, but it's still, I don't think it's still structural like you'd expect with like sand and cement. I don't know what you're supposed to do with the excess material. I couldn't see on any of the instructions. With the standard jointing compound that we normally use, you can normally just fill this up with water, and then it sort of gives you another couple of months to use it. But because this has got the epoxy stuff in it, I don't know if you can. I doubt you can do that. I'm guessing that'll go hard very quickly. But yeah, very pleased with that one. I just took some before and after pictures. Let me see what Jakey thinks. Oh, he's tidied up the van, isn't he? What a good lad. Do you think that was easier, harder, or the same as using the standard jointed compound that we've used?
It's a good question.
I don't know. I think it's...
I don't know. But do you think that's because we've done the other one before?
Yeah. Now that we know how to do this one, I think we'd smash it out a lot quicker.
Do it quicker. I guess we have to find out, the best way to do it.
Yeah. Pushing it all in initially with the squeegee, just running around with the squeegee, pushing it all in. It doesn't really matter how much you leave on the surface, because as soon as it starts drying up, you just sort of brush the excess off. So after 15-20 minutes you can just brush it off and it's fine.
You know how I feel about the squeegee, though.
You don't like the squeegee, do you?
I don't like the squeegee, no.
Not a fan of the squeegee. You prefer
Not a fan.
You prefer the wide brush?
I know where I stand with the brush. The squeegee. I don't know, maybe it will take some getting used to, but
Yeah.
then it was second time using it today.
I mean, considering we didn't get here, we literally arrived here at 9 a.m. and it's now 20 to 4. I think we've absolutely smashed it today. Yeah.
Smashed it.
Right, guys, I'm going to go and have a chat with the customer. Thanks for watching. See you in a bit.